Are you tired of watching your dreams slip through your fingers right when you're on the verge of success? I'm going to tell you the 2 reasons it happens, and I'm going to show you how to not self-sabotage in 4 simple steps. Keep watching. When we think about self-sabotage, it begs the question, what would cause a well-seasoned leader to deliberately destroy everything they've worked so hard to build? And it really comes down to one of 2 things, a lack of courage or a lack of discipline. Courage and discipline are leadership assets. All the positive traits you have as a leader, all the things that influence and inspire others to follow you, the traits that ensure you leave a great legacy behind. They're important because the efficacy of your leadership style is determined by the depth of your leadership assets. Courage really means your ability to control fear of the unknown, criticism, rejection, failure, comparison. These are the big fears that any leader has to deal with, especially one who lacks courage. Those who lack courage think in the language of avoidance. Find yourself thinking stems like, what if I can't do it? I don't know how to. I don't want people to think I'm stupid. I don't want people to know that this or that thing. These kind of thoughts really permeate your mind, lead to paralysis. It prevents you from making quick decisions, taking the next step and making difficult decisions or difficult calls, especially when your team is depending on you. And that's the first leadership asset that is lacking, which will lead to self-sabotage, because you can't think straight. You're thinking in the language of avoidance. Courage was the ability to control fear. Now, discipline is the ability to control self. And those who lack discipline, they think in the language of excuses. You can't make yourself think, act, reflect. Just like with fear, there's lots of reasons behind the procrastination. Overwhelm, the lack of clarity, perfectionism. You find yourself thinking these stems like, I'm not in the right mood for this, or I need to be in the right headspace. I need this or that to happen first. It was a lifetime goal anyway, so it doesn't matter that I didn't hit it. Reach for the moon and you'll land among the stars. These kind of thoughts, they lead you to be satisfied with missed opportunities. It decreases your productivity, it increases your stress levels. So if you want to gain courage, then gain the ability to control your fear. If you want discipline, earn the skill of self-control. Now, if they lack courage, they're going to increase the inertia, which means we're in the car and they refuse to press the accelerator. They don't press the gas, so we're not going anywhere. And that's how they sabotage us. We don't get anywhere. And if they lack discipline, they're going to reduce our momentum. They keep taking their foot off the gas. We never get to the end goal. And those are the 2 kind of ways that we really self-sabotage. Do you lack the ability to control fear, or do you lack the ability to control self? It's either rooted in your emotions, fear, and your mindset, or it's rooted in poor habits or your behavioral patterns. This is the line of courage. And then crossing over here, we have what we call the line of discipline. Now, if you have low courage, then that means you're struggling with fear. If you have low discipline, then you're struggling with procrastination. So each leader will find themselves in one of these 4 quadrants. So this leader has low courage and low discipline. You struggle immensely with taking action and maintaining consistency. So you're not going to stay focused, set goals, follow through on any commitments that you make. This is a leader who is the king of inaction. You're not leaving any sort of positive legacy. This is someone who finds that they are frustrated with themselves. You're speaking the language of avoidance and the language of excuses. Forget increasing inertia by refusing to press the pedal, reducing momentum by taking their foot off the gas. King of inaction didn't even get into the car. No one wants to follow a leader like this because you're not even motivated enough to be selfish. Let's say you get your life together a little bit and you manage to work your way up to some courage. You're no longer the king of inaction, but you're still dealing in procrastination. So you still speak the language of excuses. What I would expect is at least you got in the car, but we don't want to get in with you because you are the king of stagnation. You start something really enthusiastically, but you never finish. You struggle to keep the momentum that you need. You're disorganized. You don't manage your time. You constantly change the plan, or you don't stick to the deadline. You're brave. You stepped out of your comfort zone. But if this is you, then you've got to recognize that this limits your productivity, and your history of self-sabotage is going to be full of unrealized potential, full of unfilled aspirations. And guess what? You're a frustrated leader and you lead a frustrated team also. You've successfully reduced the momentum and you've moved up from inaction, but you've moved up to stagnation. And that's just as frustrating a place to be if you're trying to move forward. What if we swing the opposite way? So you've managed to move yourself from procrastination to having discipline, right? So you're in this bottom quadrant here. A lot of people find it easier to manufacture discipline than to manufacture courage. Why do I say that? It's quicker and easier to change a pattern of behavior than it is to uproot a mindset. So if you've managed to do this, you are on the turbo ramp to success. That's a turbo ramp that I've drawn. I dare you to draw a better one. Don't judge me until you can draw a better turbo ramp to success. You never procrastinate because you're so disciplined and you're going to be over analyzing situations here. You're spending a lot of time in hesitancy. This kind of holds you back from pursuing anything that's worth pursuing, anything that's dangerous, anything that's ambitious, or anything that's difficult you can't pursue. And we know that the things that are worth pursuing are the things that are ambitious and difficult. You have become the king of apathy. When your team look at you as a leader, they don't see a fearless leader. What they see is someone who lacks passion, someone who lacks drive, someone who lacks emotion. It's a bit lackluster. You lack enthusiasm for the thing that you're doing. So you've become the king of apathy. You're so close to getting there. You're just one step away, and that's really fantastic. So when you're here, the final quadrant, you have successfully eliminated sabotage. So you're not frustrated like everyone else is. You've got courage and you've got discipline, and you become the king of resilience. As someone who's resilient, you're not going to fall victim to self-sabotage. You've got control of your fear. You've got control of yourself. There's nothing to hold you back. You're probably wondering, well, of all these things, where's the most dangerous place to be? Because you don't want to be stagnant, you don't want to be inactive, and you don't want to be stuck with apathy. Which one of those is the worst one? If apathy is a turbo ramp to success, then obviously apathy is not the worst one. And as you've eliminated sabotage, so we're resilient. So that's a great place to be. Well, where's the worst place to be? And I'll tell you something that may surprise you. It's here in the middle. Because in the middle, you have something that I hate: balance. That may be controversial. You're wondering why? Well, you've got nothing pulling you forward, you've got nothing pulling you backwards, you've got nothing pulling you up, you've got nothing pulling you down. If we said, oh, let's balance the scale, then what number does that give you? 0. You have 0 courage, you have 0 discipline. Yeah, someone's going to say, but I also have 0 fear and 0 procrastination. Well, you know what else? You have 0 success, you have 0 joy, you have 0 accomplishment, you have 0 influence. You're in the middle, balanced. At least these two kings, the king of stagnation and the king of inaction, they're bad enough to be remembered. At least they still left a legacy, a bad legacy, but they'll be remembered. How to not self-sabotage? You've got to overcome inaction, overcome stagnation, overcome apathy, and build resilience. How do you do that? Master courage and master discipline. How do you do that? Control your fear, control yourself. Now we've come to an understanding of what the 2 key reasons are why we self-sabotage. It's a lack of courage or a lack of discipline. And we've understood what the 4 quadrants are within that, how we go from inaction to stagnation to apathy, all the way to finally resilience, where we won't sabotage ourselves anymore. There's really 4 questions that we need to ask ourselves every time that we think we're about to self-sabotage. Am I using the language of avoidance or the language of excuses? In this journey of leadership, am I building inertia by refusing to put my foot on the gas, or am I reducing my momentum by taking my foot off the gas and slowing us all down? Is it a mindset issue or is it a behavioral issue? Is it rooted in my emotions or in my poor habits? What do I need to exercise here? Courage or discipline? If you'll ask yourself those 4 questions, this is how you'll never sabotage yourself again. You've made it this far. Well done. I know that was kind of intense. To help you out, in the description box below, I've dropped a link. It's nice and easy. It's a worksheet. It's going to help you work through how to not self-sabotage. And you'll do it so much quicker than if you just watch this video 4 or 5 times. Go through the worksheet, do the activities, and you're going to surprise yourself. Be blessed.